Drop the beat. Teen Speak. Welcome back to another episode of Teen Speak. This is take 59. We're actually in year 2029 now. Sorry, guys. I must apologize. Technology is not reliable.
No, it's not.
It is not reliable. So we're trying this again. As you can see, we did miss a week. We do apologize for this, but we didn't want to put out something that was not up to par with what we want. So we're going to go ahead and actually re-record an episode that we had recorded. This episode is actually getting to know my co-host here, Dawson, a little better. So Dawson, why don't you go ahead and start us off by telling us your life verse?
Well, my life verse is Isaiah 33:22. For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king, he will save us. And that verse means a lot to me. I got that verse a while back, and I think especially at a time like this, 2020 and 2021, I think that verse is very encouraging, especially when people go to in the valleys, sometimes they're on the mountain, sometimes they're on the valley, and you have very low times in life, and I think this verse really helps out with things like that, so I like it.
It's very good. Now, Dawson, if you were to pick a section in the Bible that you like the most, so for example, you have the books of history, you have the books, the prophets, you have the songs or the psalms, or the books of the poetry, rather, you have the gospels, church epistles. What section, if you were to spend time in devotion, what's your favorite section to read?
Well, to be honest, my favorite thing to read in the Bible is prophecy. So the big book I'd like to read is obviously Revelation. I think I am always loving to read Revelation and study prophecy, what would happen in the future, when Jesus comes back and all that. And plus, there are other prophecies in the Bible, like when Isaiah was talking about the birth of Jesus and all that. So anything with prophecy in it, I enjoy loving and reading that kind of stuff.
Very interesting. So I'm assuming you really liked the past year when we spent a year in prophecy in the church.
Yes, very encouraging. I love it.
Good. Now, you said your life verse is Jeremiah what?
Isaiah 33:22.
33:22. There we go. And then what is your testimony? Give us a little bit of your testimony.
Well, for those who know me and for those who don't know me, mainly for those who don't know me, I am a pastor's kid. And I think a really big problem with most pastors' kids is that most of them were born into this whole lifehood of that you're already a good kid. You already go to church every Sunday. Your dad's a pastor, your mom's a pastor's wife. And they deal with stuff like that, and you're always front seat. You're on the front row seat of looking at all that. And so I think the big problem is that sometimes when you get older, it's not real anymore because you're doing the same habit, same thing over and over again. And that's kind of the problem that I had, was that it wasn't really real to me. I could probably tell you book, chapter, verse of any part of information in the Bible because, I was always front row seat. I listened to my dad preach in his sermons. I've had his messages, memorized, but it just wasn't real to me, and that's the dangerous part. So I think I'm going to say 2011, I'm going to say, and it was Calvary Christian Camp, and there was this preacher that was preaching, and I don't know what it was, but for some reason, God convicted me right then and there. And I finally realized that I wanted this to be real. So I can already feel, something happening. So I asked Dad, and we knelt down. I'll never forget a little green plastic chair on the platform, and we, prayed our prayers, and that's when I got saved. And from that day on, I mean, obviously, like any other normal Christian, I still have had, spiritual ups and downs. But ever since then, I could tell you that it got really real for me then. So
you'd say you were religious?
I'd say I was religious. Like my dad always says, he's always gone by the saying, it's not religion, it's more relationship. And for me, before I got saved, it was full on religion. But after I got saved, I could safely say that I had a relationship with Jesus, which I'm thankful for.
Well, that's awesome, yeah. The Bible talks a lot about that, about hollowed sepulchres, and then on the inside is dead man bones.
Yep.
But that's good. That's awesome. Glad to know that I'm doing a podcast with someone that is saved. So, I said saved, by the way. I did not say sane. I'm not quite sure if Dawson is sane. So, now, Dawson, we know that you are a lover of comic books.
Yes.
Is there any one comic book that you cherish over the others?
Ooh, that's a toughie.
Or a series, if that makes it easier.
Series?
For you.
Okay, I got a series. So, I love the Bronze Age comics. So that was around the 80s to 90s. That's when they had the best graphics. That's when Stan Lee was at the highest of his plots and stories. And that was during the time when they made the Infinity Gauntlet comic series, which was 6 series. And that basically, for those Marvel nerds who only seen the movies, that's basically Infinity War and Endgame in comic books. And that is probably, that one and the sequel Infinity War were my favorite series. I love reading those.
Okay. So your favorite series was in the Bronze Age, you said?
Yes.
Favorite TV show?
Favorite oh, it's going to have to be SpongeBob SquarePants.
Actually, that's a true story. Dawson and I make probably hundreds of SpongeBob references.
That is true.
So
I love SpongeBob.
There was another one. Okay. Outside of mac and cheese, I have to disqualify mac and cheese from this because I know that that's your favorite food. But what is your favorite food outside of mac and cheese?
If I was forced to never eat mac and cheese for the rest of my life, it would be lasagna.
Lasagna. That's a good choice. I love lasagna.
I love lasagna.
Lasagna is good, especially if you have someone that knows how to cook it.
Oh, yeah.
It's divine.
This guy, he's good.
I didn't get fat for nothing, right?
Yeah.
So. I actually have a sign in my kitchen that says "Don't trust a skinny cook." So, sorry, Dawson. Anyway, and by the way, we had some listeners come up to us and approach us about their concern of our criticism towards Lefty.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question, Dawson. Do you stand firm on your statements about lefties?
Well, you know what, Coach? I'm a phlegmatic. I'm very laid back.
He stands firm on. It's closed.
Yeah.
He stands firm. Yeah. Stand firm, Dawson.
Yep. You lefties
Crazy
out there.
lefties.
Yep.
A lefty made his shirt, by the way.
Insane. Yeah. Call out to you, Mackenzie Boggs. Thank you. This is I'm enjoying every minute of this. Thank you very much.
So, I hope you guys got to know a little bit more about Dawson. There'll be a little bit more personality that sneaks out here and there. He has a lot of it. He's very good at voice impressions, so you may hear him do a couple voice impressions to open up the podcast whenever he opens up. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this. As always, if you did watch it, be sure to leave us a like and a comment. In fact, Dawson, you have some questions there, don't you, that you had written?
Do.
So he's going to pull up a question here. I don't know what it is, to be fair. I just looked at the list and said, sounds good to me.
So I'm going to start this thing every now and then because, so it's going to be a thing called Questions for Commenters, okay? I want you guys to comment, and if y'all can answer this question, please answer the question for me. I'd like to read it. So for today, since we were talking about life verses, if y'all have one, what is your life verse? I like reading other people's life verses and get their story behind them. I think that's very interesting. So if y'all want to, what is your life verse? Please comment, that down here, please.
Down below. Yes.
Yeah, down here.
So thank you guys. As a reminder, like I said, we are on YouTube, which is right now it's our most popular platform. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. You can turn on the notifications if you'd like. We have plenty. We have 2 more episodes from us, but then we also have plenty of episodes from Cherishing Scripture, plenty of other church media out there. So feel free to tune in and listen to that. If you want, you can also leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Listen, guys, this is not for Dawson and I's ego. What it actually does is when you leave these reviews and you leave these comments, it goes into a very complicated algorithm that will actually begin to recommend things to people around your age that have the same interests as you do. So do us a favor and help us get the word out there.
Yes,
that's really what we're trying to do. But other than that, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Teen Speak. We hope y'all have a great rest of your week.
Adios.